Welcome to my messy kitchen, and here I am going to make lunch out of some of the things from the allotment. This is one of the super huge carrots. I've already taken a couple of side sprouts off it, and this is the main root. I'm going to make carrot soup. I'm going to use some ginger, and the ginger didn't come from the allotment. The garlic did. And some beans, leftover beans, which might have come from the allotment, although in fact they're leftover beans from the year before last, which I felt I should use up before I start on the new ones that I've just harvested. An onion. Whoops. So I'm frying the onions in the frying pan. I'm starting them off in the frying pan because they seem to get a better flavour when they're fried in an open pan, but I'm going to transfer them now to a saucepan. So there they are, because now I'm going to add the carrots. So this is my carrot, chopped into small pieces, and I'll put the carrot with the onion into a saucepan here, and I'm going to just sweat them together on a low heat, and also add the garlic and ginger. There's my garlic and ginger, which I've got to chop into small pieces. So there it is. Now I'm going to add it to the carrots and onions. Mix them all together. There's just a little bit of oil in this pan, and it's on a very low heat, so it brings out the flavour of all the vegetables. Keep the lid on. While the vegetables are cooking, I'm going to get some of this dough which I made earlier and make some flatbread. First I will put some flour on the work surface. I made this dough with 2/3 white flour and 1/3 wholemeal flour with instant yeast mixed into it and some salt, and you just add water and mix it basically. It's about half the volume of water as it is flour. Sometimes it comes out wetter, and I made it a bit drier this time because it's easier to knead. If it's wetter, it rises more quickly and gets more bubbles in it. The water has to be 2/3 cold and 1/3 boiling, and that makes it come out blood heat, which is good for the yeast. So I've rolled out my dough to make the flatbread, and I'm going to put it in the pan. It's the same pan that I fried the onions in. The onions will probably give it a bit of flavour, and it's on the smallest flame I can make. So there it is in the pan on the low heat. I didn't bother waiting for it to rise because it will rise a little bit from the gentle heat before it gets too hot. So I just put the lid on and leave that to cook, and give my veggies another stir. And then the only other thing I'm going to add to this, apart from the beans, will be salt and pepper, I guess, and some coriander. Checking that the carrot's soft enough. A little bit crunchy still. 5 more minutes. Also, I could add some powdered coriander, just a few shakes. I suppose the flavour will develop better if I stir it into the sweating vegetables like that. And the chopped coriander. Carrots are a bit fibrous to make a good soup on their own. They don't have the right sort of starchy texture. Most recipes you see suggest adding potatoes. Well, I've got these beans, so they're going to add the starchy element. I don't know how many will be good. Turn up the heat. These beans, I cooked them a couple of days ago, and I made a bean and vegetable bake, but these were left over. I don't know if there's enough liquid, but we'll see what happens. I'll cook it for a bit and then attempt to liquidize it. So let's see how the flatbread's getting on. You can see maybe it's gone a bit puffy around the edges. I think I might be able to turn it over now. That's boiling, so I'll turn it down to simmer. Put it on the cooling rack, and I've got one more to do. So now I'm going to add a bit of salt and whiz it up and see what it comes out like. It's a bit puddingy in texture. Let's have a taste. Need a little bit more salt and of course some pepper. And a little bit more water because it's not really runny enough to be soup, it's more like pudding. Okay, Chris thinks it needs a swirl of yoghurt. So, what do you think then?
Smells good, looks interesting, the bread's always fabulous. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Well, it was a very nice soup, perhaps a little too strong on the coriander. Chris reckons if you have too much coriander it begins to taste bitter. That's the same effect that I get with chilli, so I know what he means. But anyway, it was pretty good for just a throwing things together sort of a lunch. See you next time.